it accumulated,
Right.
it could have caused some issues.
We're on now, John.
Okay.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to all the committee members, staff, and guests to the August 25th, 2025 Haldeman Norfolk Social Services and Housing Advisory Meeting. I would like to remind everyone that our meetings are web streamed. With that, I call the August 25th, 2025 Haldeman Norfolk Social Services and Housing Advisory Meeting to order. Disclosures of pecuniary interest. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? Seeing none, are there any agenda additions to the agenda? I don't see any. We'll move on to adoption of advisory committee meeting minutes. So 3.1, Social Services and Housing Advisory Committee, May 26, 2025. May I have a motion to approve the Haldeman Norfolk Social Services and Housing Advisory Meeting minutes from May 26, 2025? Mover by Councillor Van Passen, seconded by Councillor Metcalf. Thank you. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Update on reports. Are there any updates on previous reports?
Through the chair, there are no updates at this time for any previous reports.
Thank you, Bill. There's one closed session item today. May I have a mover for the following motion that the committee enter a closed session at 9:36 a.m. pursuant to section 2392 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended, as the subject matter pertains to H, information explicitly supplied in confidence of the municipality or local board by Canada, a province or territory, or a crown agency of any of them. K, a position, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to apply to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or behalf of the municipality or local board. May I have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Van Riesche, seconded. Thank you, Councillor. All those in favor? Thank you. That motion is carried for 9:37. Move into closed session in committee room A.
Today we're announcing an exciting partnership with Scotland and Norfolk County Economic Development, and we're transforming transport trailers into mobile ambassadors. We're showcasing Norfolk's story of opportunity, excellence, and quality of life across all of North America, and Scotland is the ideal partner with an amazing logistics network and will help us share our story all across North America.
Meet Captain Clean, the toilet paper superhero, here to protect Norfolk County's pipes and keep everything flowing smoothly. Remember, only flush the 3 Ps: pee, poop, and toilet paper. Flushing anything else can cause big trouble. Things like wipes, hair, or grease can create sewer blockages. These blockages restrict flow, combine with other debris, and cause costly damage, overflow, and even water pollution. By sticking to the 3 Ps, you can help prevent clogs, reduce repair costs, and keep our water clean. For items you can't flush, proper disposal is key. Throw regular waste in the garbage. Do not believe claims on packaging that products are flushable. Take it from Captain Clean, they are not. Household hazardous waste can be dropped off at Norfolk's temporary depots during spring and fall. For things like medication and sharps disposal, take them to your local pharmacy or the health unit. And remember, grease belongs in the trash, but let it cool and store it first. Don't pour it down the drain. Be a flushing hero like Captain Clean. Together we can protect our pipes, our homes, and the environment. Remember, only flush the 3 Ps. Norfolk County is counting on you.
Soon after, members of council and I took our seats right here in council chambers last November, we began to plan the direction we'd like to see Norfolk County take over the next 4 years and beyond. A direction that builds on our strengths and sets a strong foundation in place for future generations. We looked outward to the people of Norfolk for input. We listened to you, the valued members of our community, from our sandy lake shores, our vibrant downtowns, our picturesque countryside, and our bountiful farmland. We engaged leaders from local businesses and community agencies. We gathered ideas from our team across the county. Based on what we've heard, we created Our Future Norfolk, a set of priorities that focuses on 5 key areas: empowering Norfolk, building Norfolk, connecting Norfolk, serving Norfolk, and sustaining Norfolk. These priorities, along with the initiatives and activities that drive them, will guide council and staff as we work together to serve you and all of the members of our community over the next 4 years. On behalf of Norfolk County Council and staff, we invite you to check out our website at norfolkcounty.ca/Our Future Norfolk and return frequently to learn more about our path to a vibrant and strong future for all of us, now and in the years to come.
Hi, I am Mohammed from Norfolk County Planning Department. We get a lot of questions at the Planning Department, and this video series will answer some of those. The first big question is, what is the official plan? Norfolk County's official plan describes Council's policy on how lands in our community should be used, managed, and developed. It is prepared with community input and helps to ensure the future planning and development will meet the specific needs of our community. An official plan includes issues such as where new housing, industry, offices, and shops will be located, and what services like roads, water mains, sewers, parks, and schools will be needed. It also defines when and in what order our community will grow and outlines community improvement initiatives. The official plan is approved by the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing in Ontario. The current official plan was adopted in 2016 with a goal to manage the growth of this county for the next 20 years. Residents can see Norfolk County official plan on our website at norfolkcounty.ca/official plan. What is a secondary plan? A secondary plan is a more detailed policy document embedded within the official plan to address the growth and development issues unique to a specific area of the county. For example, the lakeshore area in Norfolk County or a particular urban area with defined characteristics can be a secondary plan. As I mentioned, it is a more detailed policy document. It provides directions on where future development will occur with a guideline on density, road access, infrastructure services, different building types, building heights, or even design guidelines that are compatible to that specific area. In Norfolk County, there is only one secondary plan at this moment, which is the Lakeshore Special Policy Area Secondary Plan. The Port Dover Secondary Plan would be the second plan the county is working on at this moment. What does the land use designation of a property mean? Norfolk County's official plan also identifies how individual land or a group of lands will be used, and this is done by the land use designation. In Norfolk County, a lot of lands have been designated as agricultural. Some areas have been designated as hazard lands because of their specific natural features. An example would be the natural creeks, streams, rivers, or shoreline areas. Some lands have been designated as residential, commercial, or industrial to efficiently manage the growth of specific land use. Each land designation has rules about the kind of development allowed. The official plan uses growth management data to identify where and how much growth will occur in the next 20 years. In accordance with the provincial requirement, Norfolk County reviews and updates these growth areas every 5 years. What is the process of changing an official plan designation? A landowner can request to change the designation of the land through an official plan amendment application. This change requires a public hearing meeting and council's decision. A landowner needs to consult with a planner to get more information about this process and to identify the required documents they must submit. Any official plan amendment needs to conform to the provincial policy statement, which is a planning policy document that affects all municipalities across Ontario. This provincial policy statement is currently under review and may change in the future. To learn more about planning in Norfolk County, visit our website at norfolkcounty.ca/planning or contact the planning team at 519-426-5870 or 226 Norfolk, extension 1842, or email planning@norfolkcounty.ca. Thanks for watching.
Hi, I'm Jacob, and I'm here to take you behind the scenes on a capital project in Norfolk County. We begin planning capital projects by analyzing our infrastructure needs related to roads, water mains, storm and sanitary sewers, as well as bridges. We assess their overall condition, age, and servicing requirements. This provides a solid foundation to ensure Norfolk has the hard infrastructure for current and future needs. Once a project is determined and approved by Council, we retain an engineer to complete the design. During this stage, we engage the public through public information centers or postings on the county website to inform them of the upcoming project and provide an opportunity to share feedback. After the design is completed and all approvals are in place, we hire a contractor through a public bidding process. During the construction phase, we track progress, budget, and continue to engage with the public. We also work with other departments to ensure the overall success of the project. Once complete, we report and track any warranty issues for 2 years. We measure a project's success by its ability to enhance infrastructure and positively impact residents. As a Norfolk County employee, I enjoy building the community that has given me so much. Thank you for taking the time to join me on this behind-the-scenes tour.
We all have the right to feel safe at work, when spending time with friends and family, when participating in activities or attending a public meeting or event. Norfolk County is committed to ensuring our spaces and workplaces are safe. Our Respect and Responsibility policy outlines the code of conduct for employees, patrons, contractors, volunteers, coaches, and spectators. This code of conduct also applies to phone calls, emails, and virtual and social media platforms. We all play a part in fostering a respectful and safe environment. Inappropriate behaviors such as swearing, name-calling, verbal and physical threats, physical violence, harassment, and vandalism will not be tolerated. Staff have the right to take action when incidents occur. This may include denying service, asking individuals to leave, contacting the police, or, if necessary, suspending them from county programs and facilities. Those responsible for damaging county property will be required to cover the cost of repairs, fees, and lost revenues. We are committed to providing high-quality customer service and a safe and respectful environment for all. For more information about our Respect and Responsibility policy, visit norfolkcounty.ca/RNR.
Hi, I'm Hannah from the Norfolk County Planning Department. We receive many questions at the Planning Department, and this video series will answer some of those, like, what types of planning applications are there? There are 4 main types of planning applications for different needs. First, there are minor variances and different types of severances. These are reviewed by Norfolk County's Committee of Adjustment. An example of a minor variance is when a garage is being built closer to a property line or is taller than what is permitted in the zoning bylaw. An example of a consent to sever is creating a new lot to allow for a new house. Second, are zoning bylaw and official plan amendments that are considered at council. An example is changing the permission in an urban area to allow for a triplex where a single detached dwelling is permitted. Third, are applications that Ontario's Planning Act gives Norfolk County's Planning Department authority to approve. For example, a draft plan of condominium or subdivision, which are types of applications which enable the division of land for future housing. And fourth are applications which rely on approval from another regulator, such as telecommunications towers and hazard land boundary line adjustments. As a resident, when do I need to submit a planning application? For the average homeowner, a planning application may be required if your project does not meet the requirements of the zoning bylaw or official plan, or your property falls under site plan control. The building department will let you know that a planning application is required. If you want to change the boundaries of your lot, create an easement, or create a new lot from your property, you will need to apply for a consent to sever with the planning department. What is a pre-consultation meeting? A pre-consultation meeting is the first step of a planning application and allows staff to clarify the application process and provide a checklist of documents required. A complete application can reduce the time required for review and decision-making. Applications that must undergo a pre-consultation meeting before the application can be submitted include official plan amendments, zoning bylaw amendments, draft plans of subdivision, draft plans of condominium, and site plan applications. A meeting may also be required for certain Committee of Adjustment applications. To learn more about planning in Norfolk County, visit our website at norfolkcounty.ca/planning or contact the planning team at 519-426-5870 or 226 Norfolk, extension 1842. You can also email planning@norfolkcounty.ca. Thanks for watching. Hi, I'm Hannah from the Norfolk County Planning Department. We receive many questions at the Planning Department, and this video series will answer some of those. A common question is, what is zoning? Zoning is a way of categorizing how land can be used. Norfolk County has identified through its zoning bylaw different land use zones, for example, commercial, agricultural, or residential, what they can be used for, and any required standards, for example, building size and location. Zoning must be maintained by any development or activity that has started from the date the zoning bylaw has been passed by the county. What is the process of changing a zoning bylaw? A common reason that residents are referred to the planning department is because their proposal does not meet the current zoning bylaw provisions. If a landowner wants to change the land use from what is permitted in the existing zoning, a change in the zoning bylaw would be required. For example, changing the permission from only a single detached dwelling to expand the permission to build a triplex. This is called a zoning bylaw amendment and it requires council's approval. A planning application known as a minor variance can be submitted for a minor change in the zoning bylaw, such as the height or size of a structure. Minor variances are reviewed by the Committee of Adjustment that is made up of citizen members who are appointed by council. The committee is governed by the Planning Act and holds public meetings to approve applications for minor variances and consents. A minor variance must meet the 4 tests to be approved. 1, the change is minor. 2, the development is desirable for the appropriate use of the land, building, or structure. 3, the change maintains the general intent and purpose of the official plan. And 4, the change maintains the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw. What happens after a decision is made by the Committee of Adjustment? If the committee approves an application, the applicant and anyone else involved is notified. Certain parties can appeal a decision to the Ontario Land Tribunal within a 20-day appeal period. If no appeals are filed, the county issues notice that the decision is final. For minor variances, an applicant can now proceed with the building permit process. For severances, specific conditions must be met within 2 years, or the application will expire and the process will need to restart from the beginning. To learn more about planning in Norfolk County, visit our website at norfolkcounty.ca/planning or contact the planning team at 519-426-5870 or 226 Norfolk, extension 1842, or email planning@norfolkcounty.ca. Thanks for watching.
Hi, I am Mohammed from Norfolk County Planning Department. We've got a lot of questions here and this video series will answer some of those. What is a severance? Severance is a planning process to separate a piece of land from an existing lot, generally for the purpose of a new development within a new lot. There are 3 different common types of severances to receive in Norfolk County. The first one is when a piece of land is separated to create a new parcel of vacant land. For example, a landowner may have a large lot and wish to separate a piece of land from the original lot with the intention to sell the lot to a new owner. In that case, both lots need to comply with existing zoning requirements such as setbacks of any existing or new buildings from the property lines. The second one is a surplus farm dwelling severance. It happens when a landowner purchases additional farmlands and a residence on one of the properties is no longer required for their farming operation. In this case, the owner can sever the piece of land that contains the redundant residential dwelling. And the third kind of severance can be a boundary adjustment between two adjacent properties, where one property owner agrees to transfer a piece of their land to the other owner. There are various reasons we received a boundary adjustment severance, such as to allow additional lands, to accommodate a building construction, or to construct an extended septic system, or to resolve the setback deficiency of an existing lot. To learn more about planning in Norfolk County, visit our website at norfolkcounty.ca/planning or contact planning team at 519-426-5870 or 226 Norfolk, extension 1842, or email planning@norfolkcounty.ca. Thanks for watching. Hi, I am Mohammed from Norfolk County Planning Department. We've got a lot of questions here, and this video series will answer some of those. What is a subdivision? If a landowner would like to divide their property into 3 pieces of land, they can submit a severance application that we explained earlier. Whereas a subdivision application is required when a landowner has a piece of land large enough to divide into more than 3 or 4 individual lots to build new houses or other kind of developments. The subdivision process generally requires a more in-depth review with a longer processing time to ensure that the development meets county's development standards. What is a condominium? A condominium, often known as a condo, is an ownership model where the building or group of buildings is divided into multiple units that are surrounded by common areas for circulation, servicing, or amenities such as parks and open spaces. The common areas are jointly owned and managed by the owners of the units. Residential condominiums are frequently constructed as apartment buildings and townhouses with private roads. Many shopping malls are also commercial condominiums in which the individual retail and office spaces are owned by businesses that occupy them, while the common areas of the mall are collectively owned by these business entities. A condominium corporation is often made up of condo unit owners who manage and operate the condominium complex. What is the difference between a subdivision and a condominium? One of the main differences between a subdivision and a condominium development is who is responsible for providing services such as water, wastewater, and road maintenance after the construction and occupancy of the dwellings or units. In a subdivision, the county takes responsibility for providing these services to individual lots. On the other hand, in a condominium, the county is only responsible to providing services up to the entry point of the development. The condominium is responsible for distributing services and the maintenance to the individual units. How are subdivisions and condominiums approved? To get approval for a subdivision or condominium, the landowner must apply for approval of a draft of the plan that shows how many lots are proposed, the lot size, how the lots will be accessed, including any new roads, and how the lots will be serviced for water and wastewater or other utilities. The planning team will provide guidelines to the landowner on the standards they need to comply with. Examples include road design, tree plantation, fencing requirements, and maintaining a buffer from any existing industrial or commercial sites, etc. Generally, the subdivision applications go to council for a decision, whereas most of the condominium applications are currently approved by the county staff under delegated authority. How are residents informed about a new subdivision? When a draft plan of a subdivision is approved, the neighbors receive an approval notice of the application. The neighbors have 20 days to appeal against the approval or refusal of the draft plan. Once the appeal period has expired, there is still a lot of work that needs to be done by the developer before beginning the construction. An approved draft plan of subdivision does not constitute a legal lot. It is merely a draft plan. Norfolk County must ensure that all lots are appropriately designed and serviceable through a subdivision agreement, and only then can the lots be registered and the owner can apply for a building permit. To learn more about planning in Norfolk County, visit our website at norfolkcounty.ca/planning or contact planning team at 519-426-5870 or 226 Norfolk, extension 1842, or email planning@norfolkcounty.ca. Thanks for watching. Hi, I am
Welcome back. We need a mover and a seconder to move back into open session at 10 o'clock a.m. Moved by Councillor Van Rishi, seconded by Councillor Metcalf, and we are now in open session. Thank you. So I need also to have a mover to the motion that the closed meeting report, HSS 25006, lease approval to sustain emergency housing services be received as information, and that staff proceed as directed. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Van Passen, seconded by Councillor Breton. All in favor? And that motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. We'll move on to staff reports. 6.1 ESS 25005, 10-year housing and homeless plan, year 10, 2024. I'll take it over to Brian Davis for introductions. Thank you.
Good morning. Through the chair, I'd like to introduce our housing program manager, Jessica Horton. She's going to present the report.
Thank you. I'm presenting report ESS-25-005. As committee is aware, every municipality is required to maintain a 10-year housing and homelessness plan, which outlines both the community's housing and homelessness prevention needs, as well as the strategies to address them. This plan not only identifies the actions we intend to take over the 10-year period, but it also serves as our guiding document when we are applying for funding and making program decisions. When submitting investment plans to the province, all proposals must align with the priorities in this action plan. Each year, we are also required to report updates to the ministry. As part of this process, we collaborate with the building departments in both Haldimand and Norfolk counties to track the number and type of housing units that were created that year. Over the past year, we supported 223 households through either a housing allowance or the Canada-Ontario Housing Benefit, which we refer to as COB. And in addition, 125 households were successfully moved into permanent or long-term housing. The recommendation before you is that this report be received for information and that staff be directed to submit this update to the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing in accordance with the Housing Services Act. We also recommend that the update be published on the Social Services and Housing website for both Haldimand and Norfolk counties. With that, I'll open it up for any questions. Thank you.
Is there any questions for Jessica for this report? I don't see any. Could I get a mover and a seconder to receive this report, please? Oh, thank you, Councillor Van Rishi. Mover, seconded. Councillor Brunton, all those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. We'll move on to 6.2 ESS 25007, Provincial Allocation of Ontario Priorities Housing Initiative and Canada-Ontario Community Housing Initiative, Funding and Investment Plan for 2025-2026 Budget Amendment. And Jessica, you will present this report as well. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I will be presenting report ESS-25-007. This focuses on two key funding programs, the Canada-Ontario Community Housing Initiative, which is referred to as COCHI, and the Ontario Priorities Housing Initiative, which is referred to as OFI. For context, these programs represent the primary funding sources currently available to support affordable housing in our community. Over the years, this funding has come under different names, but at present it is delivered through COCHI and OFI. The purpose of COCHI is to help maintain and strengthen our stock of community housing. This is capital funding that can be used for new community housing development, as well as for repairs to existing community housing. For this fiscal year, staff are proposing to allocate $796,765 to the new build component of COCHI And in addition, the $41,935, which is equivalent to 5% of the total funding, will be retained by the service manager for program administration. The OFI program has several distinct funding streams, and I will just briefly outline the ones that are being prioritized this year. The home ownership program provides down payment assistance to help low to moderate income renter households and first-time home buyers purchase affordable homes. The Ontario Renovates program offers financial assistance to low to moderate income homeowners in need of essential home repairs, as well as funding to support necessary repairs within community housing as well. The rental assistance component provides rent supplements and housing allowances to address affordability challenges for renter households. Both COCHI and OFI are essential tools that allow us to sustain and expand affordable housing options in our community. Their proposed allocations will ensure that we continue to support new development, preserve existing housing, and provide assistance directly to residents who need it most. Thank you. With that, I will open it up for any questions.
Are there any questions for Jessica for this report? Councillor Van Rishi?
Yep, through the chair. So the home ownership program, the household needs to make under a certain amount of money each year. I don't have that number off the top of my head, but I can certainly provide it to you. The home price also has to be under a certain amount. Again, I apologize, I don't have that number off the top of my head, but again, I can get it. It's on our website. So those are the two main criteria to be eligible for the program, just income and the home price.
The cost of a down payment, whoever is selling the house, does it happen very often?
So the program has not been very popular or successful in the last couple of years, just because that income limit threshold is rather low. I think it's just over 100,000, I believe. And then the cost of the homes in Haldeman, Norfolk, generally people can't qualify for a mortgage based on that income limit.
Oh, that's well understandable.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is there any further questions or comments? Councillor Van Passen?
Yes, thanks, Madam Chair. If I got this right in the report, that they're already predicting some increases for 26, 27, 27, 28. Is that correct?
Sorry, through the chair to the councillor. Sorry, did you say decreases or?
No, in that, like this year, we're looking at 838,000, but the 26, 27 is at 998, and then the 27, 28 it's over $1 million. Is that?
Oh yes, correct. So the COCHI allocation increases. Okay. Yep, and OFI will decrease though over the next couple years.
Anything further? With that, I'll ask for a mover and a seconder, please. To receive? Yep. Moved by Councillor Van Rishi, seconded by Councillor Van Passen. All those in favor? Thank you. That is carried. We'll move on to report ESS 25003, Service Manager Approval to merge Long Point Area Nonprofit Housing Corporation into Haldeman Norfolk Housing Corporation. Brian Davis will present this report. Thank you.
Thank you. Through the chair. So as you can see in the report, both organizations have been actively discussing a merger for the past couple of years. And it's not surprising that Long Point Area Housing Corporation saw Haldeman Norfolk Housing Corporation as the best nonprofit housing provider to join with, since they've been doing their property management since the building opened 35 years ago. So at this stage, both organizations have enlisted joint legal counsel with a wind down work plan. It's expected that the legal proceedings will take about 2 months to process, with a targeted merger date of the end of this year, December 31st, 2025, which aligns to both organizations' fiscal year end. Of course, this is all pending your approval, as both organizations are subject to the Housing Services Act 2011, and they need service manager approval in order to merge. As noted in the report, looking at a merger or amalgamation is becoming more and more common with small and medium-sized nonprofit housing organizations across the province. While LPAHC is currently structured exactly the way they began in 1990, we certainly know in this room that a lot of things have changed in the past 35 years. And a key change impacting the sector is the end of operating agreements that are tied to the 35-year mortgage. These operating agreements provide the subsidy which sustains the RGI units, and that agreement for 38 Erie Avenue ends in November. So this is why we also seek your approval to enter into a new service agreement with HNHC to ensure that we continue to offer RGI housing units at the property. Other factors such as aging buildings, aging board members, coupled with increased challenges to securing new board members, increased regulatory expectations, increasing operating costs, are all factors driving nonprofit housing organizations across Ontario to reflect on their future opportunities, risks, and sustainability. And in 2023, Long Point Area Housing Corporation did exactly that. They created a viability plan that includes increasing the market level rents, recommending some adjustments to their RGI to market unit ratio, and engaging in serious discussions with HNHC to merge. And I'll end by saying that this is a very strategic marriage, as it creates a significant opportunity to increase the stock of affordable rental housing in the community. As I hope you're able to see in the aerial shot in the report, the existing relatively small number of 40 units sits on 7 acres of serviceable land within the town of Port Rowan. So it's well positioned for intensification and fits perfectly into HNHC's building renewal and expansion plans. So with that, I'll open it up to questions.
Thank you very much for your report. Is there any questions? Councillor Van Passen.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Back in the 80s, 90s, this was the system. This is how these places got built. For 25 years, nothing got done. Mm-hmm. But how many more of these are we going to inherit in the next short while? I think we've done a couple of them already since I've been, like, last term of council, that the mortgage and the original agreements are done, and all the same problems. They can't find board members, they don't know how to function. So how many more are coming down the line here?
Sorry, through the chair to Councillor Van Passen. So 3 more are sort of, so there's Dunville nonprofit, 2 more plus this one, and South and Metcalf. So there's 2 more that very similar, very small corporations that own 1 property.
Is there any further questions? Seeing none, I'm looking for a mover and a seconder for the recommendations and report ESS 25003. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Van Rishi, seconded by Councillor Metcalf. All those in favor? That's carried unanimously. Thank you. Thank you for the reports today. Is there any other business? Seeing none, the next meeting is Monday, September the 15th, 2025. With that, I move to adjournment. May I have a mover to adjourn this meeting at 10:13 a.m. Moved by Councillor Brunton, seconded by Councillor Van Rishi. All in favor? This motion is carried. Thank you. See everybody on September the 15th. Good luck with that computer, John.